from a leprechaun friend of ours that there was going to be a St. Patrick's Day parade held for the first time in Milford. He promised that if we ventured down the road to partake in the festivities, we might just find a bit of Irish luck in our travels. We didn't know quite what to expect, so we put on our finest Irish clothes and headed over the rainbow to town. Since this was the first ever St. Patrick's Day parade being held in Milford, we thought we'd get there early, and it was a good thing we did. There were people everywhere, lining up an hour before the parade was scheduled to start. There were cheerleaders, Boy Scout troops, high school mascots, classic cars, fire trucks, and leprechauns everywhere. Everyone who lives in and around Milford must have shown up for the parade. With so many people in the parade, we didn't know if there would be anyone left to watch the procession. As we made our way through the staging area, we ran into one of the event's main sponsors, Chant Realty.
Talk to us about what this means for you, Chant, in this whole area.
Well, Dave Chant was one of the founders of this, and he was going to be the Grand Marshal. He was excited about it. All of our people were excited. I wasn't that excited about it. I thought, St. Patrick's Day Parade, what are we doing spending that kind of money on a parade? Well, I went around and talked to all my people here today, and I am so glad that we did what we did, because this thing is huge now, and I can't even imagine what it'll be like next year.
Amazing.
So it certainly is. We're looking out with the weather, and I just cannot believe all the people that have come out here today.
Tell me about how Milford Hospitality Group is making this an amazing St. Patrick's Day.
You know what, honestly, it's more than we expected. You know, we were presented with the opportunity. We said, we're in, and I'm blown away by this.
This is awesome!
Really
Milford's law enforcement was on hand to make sure everyone had a good time and that no shenanigans were taking place.
You helped organize this crazy first-time parade, correct?
Correct.
Tell me all about it. Go!
Well, it was a couple people's ideas that kind of ran with it, said Milford need one more event, and they came to the police department and said, were we willing to help as far as traffic control? And we're like, yeah, we're on board.
Hey, we're hanging out with the police, the law enforcement here, and she's got one thing to tell you guys.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and everyone have a fun St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy the parade.
Safe, safe, safe.
Safe, 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 safe.
Before heading over to Broad Street to check out the parade route, we thought we'd find out what people thought about the first ever Milford St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Well, I think it's amazing they're having their first annual.
Yeah.
And I think we should bring it.
We thought that was neat, and then with us just getting this last October, we figured, you know what, it's an opportunity for us to get the car out and enjoy the day.
And you're from the area?
I'm from right in town, yeah.
Right in town?
Right in town.
What does this parade mean to you?
Well, it's the first one, so let's see. Let's make it big, man.
Don't be a wait and see. Tell me how it makes you feel right now.
It's very exciting.
It's exciting.
This parade gets everybody from Milford together, gets everybody excited about St. Patty's Day, drinking a little green beer, eating some corned beef and cabbage.
Okay.
And just enjoying family and friends.
That's awesome. What does St. Patrick's Day mean to you guys?
Green.
Green.
And Shamrock Shake.
Shamrock Shake! Yeah!
And the Irish jig.
Do it! Yeah! You learned! That's awesome!
This is nice. First time in Milford.
Very nice.
We're really enjoying it. It's a good
That's
time.
Cool.
Excellent time.
At the first one,
Excellent time.
It was almost parade time, so over to Broad Street we went. As we rounded the corner from Ann Street onto Broad Street, there were thousands of people lining the parade route, waiting to watch the town's first ever St. Patrick's Day parade. At last, in the distance, we heard the sirens of the police vehicles leading the parade as the procession turned onto Broad Street. Following the police cars was the Black Diamond Pipe Band. The first ever Grand Marshal were Ken and Pat Corcoran, followed by the Knights of Columbus. The veterans of foreign wars received cheers and appreciation for their service as they walked down the streets. There were Boy Scouts everywhere as troops from nearby towns joined the parade. And of course, since it's an election year, there were as many politicians as there were Boy Scouts. Throughout the parade, there were gymnasts, cheerleaders, and athletes of all flavors. Along with a host of community organizations. And here comes the second bagpipe band, the Penn York Highlanders. Followed by the Delaware Valley Trojan. And what's a parade without floats? It was cool to see the classic cars in historic Milford, along with several souped-up hot rods. Another amazing feature of the parade was the historic Hiawatha Stagecoach. Wrapping up the parade were our first responders, keeping the Poconos safe. Even Smokey the Bear came along. So, what did the crowd think of the parade?
What made it fun?
Everything.
That was the best parade ever!
Yes!
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot longer, and there was a lot more to it than we thought. It was pleasantly surprised. It was awesome.
We learned
Good
how to
times.
say leprechaun, right? Can you say leprechaun?
Leprechaun.
Yes! How was the parade today?
Good.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Can you say Happy St. Patrick's Day?
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
This was the best. I'm so glad that Milford did this. Everyone was so happy. Music,
it was
everything.
Incredible.
Lots of candy.
Turnout. Everybody was so sweet as we were going by, and the kids were so excited. Kudos to Milford for putting this together.
Yeah, we look forward to it next year.
Absolutely.
We found some friends along the way, and the only thing better than a pint of Guinness is 2 pints of Guinness. So here's wishing you life, love, laughter, and luck, and may the roads always rise to meet you.
Are you looking to buy or sell a property in the Northern Poconos? Then your first and only call should be to Davis R. Chant Realtors.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Collins, President of Davis R. Chant Realtors.
And I'm Abby Pittenger-Claus, Vice President of Chant Realtors. And we're here at one of our lakefront listings on Lake Wallenpaupack.
Since 1964, Davis R. Chant Realtors has grown from 1 office in Milford to 5 offices throughout Pike and Wayne County. With more than 90 agents working 7 days a week, we have happily helped 50,000 families buy and sell their homes.
The Northern Poconos is a wonderful place to live. We have great schools and so many activities throughout every single season. If you're looking to buy a home, vacation home, or investment property, we'd be happy to help you every step of the way.
If you're looking to sell your home, give us at Davis R. Chant Realtors a call. Our agents put together a thoughtful but aggressive marketing plan to make sure that your home is put in front of your prospective buyer's eyes quickly.
For more information on the current real estate market, stop in at one of our 5 offices or visit our website at chantre.com.
Details matter, especially in your home. Do you love the bones or sentimental story behind an old piece of furniture, but can't see how it could possibly fit into your modern home? At Flipped, their mission is to reuse, reimagine, and create something beautiful and functional. Custom furniture design and refinishing, kitchen and bath cabinet painting, and a retail store featuring vintage decor, floral, gifts, hand-poured candles, and gourmet provisions. Flipped Furniture and Home wants to be part of your home because details matter.
There was a lot to do in the Pocono Mountains this weekend, with both the Two Rivers Race Marathon and St. Patrick's Day on the same weekend. The fleet of foot were hoping for a bit of Irish luck to beat the clock and qualify for the Boston Marathon, accomplish a goal they've set, or simply make their personal best. As we made our way down to the lacawac field, where the race was in full swing, we started running into a few familiar faces.
This event is just so local, so great. It's I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's hard. It's Jersey's flat, so you come up here and you do these mountains and we make it a girls' weekend.
And you just did what?
Half marathon.
Whoa! How hard was that?
It was easy because I trained since November. So.
Awesome. So talk to me about your training. What do you do?
I did like 3 to 4 runs a week with a long run on Saturday.
What is it about this that like makes this your thing?
It's like a meditation. It's a way to get out and escape. Like once that runner's high thing is definitely real, and start thinking about a whole bunch of stuff that you wouldn't do just sitting on your couch.
So my husband was running the full marathon, so he's still out there right now. But I'm running Boston in a couple weeks, so this is I did the half today as kind of a practice run.
What'd you run today?
The half marathon.
Yeah.
Half. Ooh, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult.
But that being said, I feel pretty good about it.
Cool. And how's your recovery? Like, what do you do once you're done to recover?
Well, St. Patrick's Day, so we're definitely gonna grab a beer. enjoy the festivities in Northeast PA. And,
all right.
The stories of why they run and the accomplishment of beating a personal best inspires us. But what stood out this year were the people who decided to run in the race who didn't have the latest running gear. Jacob, from the New York side of the river, put on his favorite boots and finished first in his age group, running a 10K.
I heard from a little birdie that someone actually pushed their kid in their stroller for this race. So tell me this story. What's up?
All right, so 3 years ago I did this race. I did the half marathon and I paced 7:07, so 1:33. So my goal was next year I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna break an hour and 30 minutes. That day, a year later, I was in labor with this little guy. But this year I did it and my babysitter fell through, so here he is with me, and we just did it in about an hour 43.
We know that athletes from all over the world travel to the Upper Delaware for the love of the race. But what impressed us most about this year is how many local people decided to run the 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, and even the double marathon race.
And you are happy to have done what today?
My very first half marathon. This
That's
is my
awesome.
very first race ever. And then I said, let me try the half.
Just try.
Let me try.
And what'd you do?
Time-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I know I just made it.
I survived!
It was like, if I fall over, I'll be okay.
You crawled over. No, you didn't. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
I started running during COVID because there was nothing else to do. And then Mrs. Smith challenged me to do a half marathon with her, even though I was working on my dissertation. So I just finished my dissertation this week and did my half.
She's busy! Busy! That's amazing! Awesome!
I always sign up for a race because then you know you have to run,
Yep.
and I follow the plan.
Okay.
And I do the best I can.
That's awesome. Now, how does it compare to running up here in the woods?
Honestly, this is a lot more peaceful, but yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
pretty similar other than that.
We love the run. How'd you like the run?
It was amazing. It was great. Fast course.
Fast course, but it's got some hills on it, right?
The first 6 were
A little rough?
It gets that exhilaration going, you know, it gets that adrenaline blast. Just
How's
like,
it feel?
Feels great. Feels
Good.
Feels
You running
awesome.
hard?
I ran as hard as I could. Second place, plaqued.
All right.
That's all that mattered, you know.
You got a medal. You got to put that medal
got a
on.
cookie too.
I got a cookie. He got a cookie.
So we're gonna finish that later.
That's awesome. So now what are you gonna do now?
Go home, maybe take a nap.
We witnessed the sheer amount of energy it takes to complete a marathon and learned from many runners that a combination of body, mind, and the right gear helps their performance. The most important skill to learn as a marathoner is to listen to your body. And in the days before the race, making sure you store enough fuel and water to go the distance.
Happy, healthy, hungry. That's my motto. Gotta be happy, gotta enjoy it, gotta stay healthy and uninjured. That's balance.
Right.
And you gotta stay hungry, motivated.
Oh, I love it.
Do that and everything's great.
Happy, healthy, hungry.
That's it.
We're gonna have to make a shirt for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. And yourself, what's your motto? What do you do?
For me, it's really just the hungry, and then whenever I have time in college.
How do you like the area? This
Love
area?
the area, yeah.
Oh, it's a great place.
It's really quaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, much different from the city.
Much different.
Yeah, much quieter.
But fun.
Yeah.
Strong support structures also help performance. Entire families were out to run or support their favorite athletes. Participating in events like this race weekend also creates strong bonds that last a lifetime. This year, the Dunkin' Donuts truck was back, providing complimentary coffee and donuts. I guess lacawac still runs on Dunkin'. Athletes received medals for finishing their race, plaques, t-shirts, jackets, and even the coveted double t-shirt for running marathons on both Saturday and Sunday. This race festival would not be possible without the experienced race directors Mark Hughes and J.C. Santa Teresa. The support of the Lacawac Volunteer Fire Department to control traffic and provide safety was greatly appreciated. And the Lacawac Ambulance Service was providing first aid and emergency medical services. The event is also sponsored by many community volunteers and local sponsors. Lacawac Township spruced up the town just in time for the event with 2 new signs.
It's a pretty fun race to come out. Check it out next year. Two Rivers Marathon, Lacawac.
The Wayne County Canoe Classic, a great way to cure those winter woes, rid yourself of cabin fever, and get outdoors with friends and family. The start of the race begins at a great source of community, the Wayne County Fairgrounds. Well over 100 participants signed up to give their spring a much-needed kickstart. And with the sun shining on all of us, the Northern Poconos Mountains provides the perfect backdrop for another epic event.
We're hanging out with Kayak Santa and
John Finnan.
So how many years have you guys done this? Like how many? Yeah.
A lot.
A lot?
I've done it. The first year was in the mid-'80s, and I probably only missed 2 or 3 from then till now.
What?
But this is only one of maybe 20 races a year I do.
Okay.
Same with Brian. Yeah.
And it's Christmas because I'm hanging out with Kayak Santa. Yes!
This event is hosted by the Honesdale area Jaycees and wouldn't be possible without many efforts from the members and its volunteers.
We've had a lot of fun planning, and we have some great prizes for the end. So yeah.
Oh, prizes!
Yes.
You know we all love a good prize.
It's a ton of fun. Definitely suggest coming out next year if you haven't come out before. Lots of fun, lots of good people, and just a good atmosphere. It just brings people together. It's for a good cause, and just get you out in nature.
It's not really about the race, just having fun. Just having fun.
It's great to see everybody. It's so relaxing, and it's something that the town really needs to take advantage of more often.
You get such a great perspective of town from the river because it's so different. You get to see all the stonework they did for the canals. It's really cool.
The beauty that the Northern Poconos holds is in the woods, y'all.
Yeah, he's right.
So you got to get out. You got to get out and have some fun and walk. Get on the river, get on the trails, and enjoy yourself.
It's our first year. I've been watching this for 5, and I finally said, this is it. I'm doing it.
Sterling Business and Technology Park is currently divided into 23 lots ranging in size from 3 to 30 acres. Each lot in the park is KOZ certified for companies that qualify. The Sterling Business and Technology Park is perfectly located just off Exit 17 on Interstate 84 in northeastern Pennsylvania, just under 2 hours from New York City. If you would like to explore locating your business at the Sterling Business and Technology Park, visit sterlingbusinesspark.com.
Find out what all the buzz is about. Voted one of the best small towns in the U.S., Honesdale, Pennsylvania is an historically significant town with a vibrant and charming downtown. Spend the day strolling down Main Street and explore our many shops, restaurants, cafes, art galleries, markets, and more. In the evening, enjoy our many dining options, from farm to table to casual eateries to bars and breweries. Honesdale is also widely renowned for its charm. Steeped in history, Honesdale is known as the birthplace of the American Railroad and is still home to an extensive rail schedule on the Stourbridge Line Rail. And for the adventurous, outdoors recreation flourishes all year long. Hike up Irving Cliff, enjoy the Lacawaxen River that runs through town, or simply spend time at our beautiful parks. There's always something going on in Honesdale. For more information about Honesdale's events, check out visithonesdalepa.com. There's so much to do and see in charming Honesdale, PA.
My father, Arthur Watrous, and my grandmother, Isabel, came to live at Lacawac in 1947, enduring winters in the freezing cold lodge, but relishing the delights of spring, summer, and autumn. After years of neglect during the Great Depression and World War II, there was a lot of work to do. Grading and filling the ruts in the road, patching the roof of the lodge, glazing windows, and restoring the heating system. Together, they put the place back together and made it livable 12 months of the year. Arthur had vigorously avoided earning a degree in engineering, instead preferring painting and sculpture. He was singularly unmechanical. Yet, he bought an old bulldozer to build roads and dig heron and golden ponds. He raised chickens in the carriage house, losing enough money to call himself a professional farmer. In 1951, tired of the drafty lodge in winter, he built the cozy brick house on the bank of Heron Pond. After 2 successive hurricanes in 1955 uprooted thousands of trees in the forest, Arthur set up a sawmill and went into the timber business. Arthur and Isabel read a number of landmark books, such as Rachel Carson's Silent Spring and the works of Henry David Thoreau. They started to think that Lacawac was a place that should be kept the way it is, for people and the environment. But they really had no clue where to start, so they walked unannounced into the American Museum of Natural History in New York, seeking advice. Thankfully, some kind administrator directed Arthur and Isabel to the Philadelphia Academy of Natural Sciences and Dr. Ruth Patrick. One of biology legends, she published scientific papers and texts from 1933 to 2007, when she was 100 years old. In the early 1960s, she made a visit to Lacawac and observed that the lake was unique. Despite the lodge being on its shores, it was likely the southernmost unpolluted glacial lake in the United States, thanks to William Connell's desire to protect lake water for drinking. Arthur opened the doors to researchers from the Academy, and the earliest freshwater biology research on the lake began. Arthur and Isabel pulled together a small board of trustees and incorporated Lacawac Sanctuary in 1966. The first few years were pretty tough. The curators who ran the show back then tended to use Lacawac as their own sanctuary and drop out. It was the 1960s. While Arthur and Isabel changed sheets, filled potholes, and kept the lights on, one early curator milked goats in the basement of the visitors center and failed to turn up to work because he was staying up late to witness the activity of a night-blooming potted cactus. It continued like this through the 1970s. The Lacawac board decided they needed more experienced help. They thought by teaming up with a well-known environmental organization, they could tap into some professionalism. Lacawac negotiated to become a preserve of the Nature Conservancy, And in 1981, Arthur and Isabel sweetened the deal by giving their house on St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands as the nucleus of an endowment. Things looked rosy, but not for long. The professional staff from TNC never came. The work was left to Lacawac's curators, volunteers, Arthur and Isabel, and board members. Soon, there were bigger worries. TNC was shifting its gaze away from its early focus on small, well-appointed preserves with potential for long-term research to large, uninhabited preserves with endangered species or elements to protect. It wasn't hard to do the math. Sell Lacawac for development and you could buy tens of thousands of acres of prairie land out west. Luckily, the Lacawac board was still intact and cooking and cleaning for groups who came to visit. They mobilized a campaign to disengage from the Nature Conservancy, and after long and delicate negotiations, Lacawac was independent once more. This was the early 1980s. It was a time of enormous struggle to plug holes in the budget and build our place in the community. We hosted an amazingly varied summer program: painting and music and conservation schools, naturalist-led walks and boat tours, cultural performances, and evening lectures. Meanwhile, the lodge and ice house filled with scientists. We expanded their workspace to include the coachman's house as an office and added wet and dry labs to the carriage house, including a giant incubator in one of the horse stalls. Through donations and grants, we were also able to grow the size of Lacawac in the 1980s, adding a large stretch of Wallenpaupack lakefront. 3 separate acquisitions totaled more than 120 acres and a mile of shoreline. Despite all the activity, we were always broke. We operated at a deficit every year, begging, borrowing, and selling heirlooms to plug the holes. On a shoestring, our many volunteers, our few staff, our hands-on board members achieved a great deal. Our budget never crossed 6 figures until around the year 2000.
But there would be a payoff. Greater successes would come. I'm Chad Reed-Watrous, and this is the history of Lacawac.
Tune in to Wally Life every Monday at 9 p.m. on Blue Ridge Communications Channel 13 for the latest in life around Lake Wallenpaupack.